Ladies and gentlemen, we are now live to close out the weekend here in style on Sportswire Radio. Now, for our guest tonight, it should certainly be a time to celebrate, a time to reflect and think about his run nearing his 500 days as the reigning, defending WCE All Out Champion. But if you watched Yards Collide like all of us here on Sportswire Radio did earlier this week, it may not be such a time to celebrate, as it looks like his company that he is ruled supreme over is in shambles. And I'm going to talk about that and some. Plus, who knows what else is on the minds of many. Our guest needs no further introduction, but because he is still the backyard nightmare, the ruler of the yard, and especially the ruler of the WCE yard, he is going to get that introduction that he always gets. So with that, wait for it. Further ado here on the Sports Report. Number one global sports show, the reigning, defending WCE All Out Champion of the World. He is Kraven. The champ is here. My friend, how are you?
Well, Tom, I am doing wonderful because I hold the whole WCE in my hand still.
What may be left of it, though, champ? Because there really isn't much left, it seems, of WCE these days, and we're going to certainly get to that here shortly. But, champ, I have to ask this question to you, and especially for those that are listening and watching on Sportswire Radio and those that saw the events that transpired at WCE's Yards Collide, Kraven Rage. You may be the backyard nightmare. You may be the ruler of the yard, but do you now feel weakness? Do you now feel pain? Do you now feel death? And do you now feel suffering?
Well, Tom, to answer your question, everybody feels weakness. Everybody feels pain. Everybody feels death. But at the end of the day, I'm still breathing. At the end of the day, I'm still standing. No matter what, I am death. I am pain. I endure pain. That what strives me. That what motivates me. Weakness, I love it because I love to prey on everybody's weakness.
But you are very weak right now, though. I mean, WC is in shambles right now. I mean, I think about WC right now, Wrestling Championship Entertainment. I mean, I'm not quite sure if you're Robert McCall, a.k.a. Denzel Washington's character in The Equalizer, because he was able to basically save the people around him. You haven't really shown that type of leadership or have those CIA skills. And I'm wondering right now, with everything that's happened, James Marshall was put through a table by Omen Black. Sean Jovi now, who is Mr. WCE, is now IMF Foundation. Nicholas Crenson, the new Messiah, is basically Benedict Arnold. I mean, it's basically WC. I mean, I don't even know. Is WC going to stay in business the way things are going? I mean, it really does seem like right now everything is falling apart and you guys are almost like the Titanic.
That's one thing everybody talking about. WC is going to crumble We ain't going nowhere. We're not going to stop. We're going to keep going. Nobody is going to
But
bring us
who,
down.
but who may be we right now? Because Jovi and Marshall were the pillars of WC. I mean, Marshall was put down by Omen. Jovi is now with Soldier and Omen Black, and after what he did to his best friend, the unfathomable thing he did to Darkfire, I mean, he's not with us anymore. Crenson, the other pillar, I mean, again, I don't even know how he can walk the streets of Wisconsin these days. I mean, who is we right now in WC? I mean, I have to ask that question for those that are listening and watching on Sportswire Radio.
It's time. I stand on this top of this mountain alone, but I got to let a secret.
Oh, you do.
I have backup, and they coming.
You have backup. You have backup. So you say you have a plan.
Oh, I always have a plan.
And it's not JDT, right? Because you ran him out of town. Because that would be.
Yeah, not JDT.
Okay, not JDT. Okay, fair enough here. I mean, let me get to some comments because I got a ton of comments here, and people certainly want to talk to you. I'm going to come back to all this shortly, but Drake Silverwolf, speaking of people that certainly are speaking probably more than we anticipate. Foundation, nothing but wimps. You were lucky when you beat Sean Jovi, Soldier. And the ruler of the yard, Kraven Rage, beat Remington Striker for the All-Out Championship. Yes, now you beat Remington Striker, but after the match, Kraven Rage, I mean, certainly Omen Black showed you weakness. He showed you pain. He showed you what death is like. And he certainly did show you what suffering was like because this was the first time you guys encountered each other. And it seemed like the IMF champion won the WCE champion 0.
Well, see, that's the thing. Omen made the biggest mistake. He just fell right into my trap.
Mm.
You know, Omen thought he couldn't do what Remington couldn't do.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't get the job done.
Right,
Yeah,
but Remington was not the everybody wanted to see you and Omen. Remington was basically semi-retired.
yeah, he should have stayed retired because he thought he can beat me.
Well, you did crush him, I'll say that much.
But Omen, yeah, he got his little moves in, but Omen Black, that's all you got. 2 moves, and you think that can stop me? No, Omen have not seen no pain yet.
Hmm. Rather interesting comments there from the champion. Okay, fair enough. I mean, certainly the champion is giving us some interesting points. And if you want to follow WC, we've actually got a new banner there. So you can just basically follow the link and all the information there. Tyler Ark, a member of Vector, is here, who we haven't heard from much a while on Sportswire. Tyler Ark is talking big stuff about IMF. Well, really, Sherlock? You just put it down. Speaking of people that we saw a few weeks ago, the IMF basically addressing Tyler Ark and Drake Silverwolf, because this was a comment before we were on the air. And, I was speaking to this individual earlier who seems like they are trying to take a new approach these days. That is Skulls the Soul Hunter, your old foe, your old nemesis, says, who said lets the bodies hit the floor? It's more like Kraven hit the floor by the Foundation. I mean, I guess even your old chum Skulls is taking shots at you these days.
Yeah, because I already buried him.
Maybe. But he certainly took a shot at your expense.
Yeah, because see, Skulls couldn't even do what nobody can do, which is keep me down. And that's what a lot of people are. One thing, they can knock me down, but I'm going to get back up. I'm going to keep coming because that's what a nightmare does. It just keep coming and coming. Fear is nothing to be afraid of, but nightmares are. And you're looking at it right here in the flesh. See, Omen, yeah, he's just a man. He's not a machine. He's not a monster. Yeah, he's big. He's strong. He's powerful. Well, question is, how can you? What can a machine do to a nightmare that can't be stopped? That won't be stopped.
But he got the best of you though last
You got
week.
one lucky shot. That was it. One lucky shot.
But you do know that this goes right into what everybody has been saying about you and him for months. This basically plays in right to what all the people in backyard wrestling and the underground have been saying. Omen Black, in the one encounter with Kraven Rage, makes rather short work with him, and Kraven Rage struggles to get up. And it's almost again, he's a champion, but a champion right now in a very, 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 very small pond.
Yeah, I'm a champion. Held this title for close to 500 days.
Oh, you have.
Everybody, everybody that came stepped me, tried to take this title from me, failed miserably. So, because my empire stands on top of this mountain, I hold this empire down. Yeah, he went through James Marshall. Bravo. You you broke the measuring stick. But Omen, now your real challenge is me.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? I think people are going to certainly have their opinions on that. We'll move on. Drake and Tyler talking BS. Skull says someone in trouble. I want to say hello to our friend, Mr. Michael Blackheart. Michael's a big fan of us here on Sportswire, and he does a little bit of stuff. And in fact, his father in law is actually the referee Festus, the senior official in XCW. Want to say hello to him. Good evening again, Kraven Rage. I do love your use of the rings of rage. Perfect fit. Appreciate that, Michael. Kraven lost his smile. Well, I don't know if Kraven ever has smiled, but it is certainly right now a very, very difficult time, I have to think, for the champion. Speaking of people here that are with us, as always, the Drip King himself, Adonis Felios, who by the way, I actually offered to Mr. Omen Black that Omen could just have Adonis take over for me on Sportswire, but Mr. Black and in fact, many others don't seem like they want that proposal, so I guess you'll probably agree with that, Mr. Rage. But be that as it may, we say hello to Adonis Felios, the Drip King himself. Drake Silverwolf then says, "What's up?" and also says, "What's up to yours truly?" I want to say hello to the host of the Wired Up podcast, Mr. Ace Reed. That would be maybe a potential landing spot for Kraven Rage to come on a show sometime. He is at Backyard Elite Wrestling on YouTube and Instagram, so check him out. Always love having our friend Ace Reed here. Kraven, you are no pinhead. Tyler Ark is here for you, Kraven Rage. I got your back if IMF come to talk about you. I mean, do you want Tyler Ark's support? Do you need his help? Because I'm going to get to some help in a second for you. But, I mean, is the Mano Masters the right guy for you to align with? I mean, I know it's not going to be Jay Stereo.
I think it'll be Jay Stereo. You know, the help that Craven needs is people that be like unhinged, people that is psycho, people that truly is a devil. You know, I got all evil plans planned.
Evil. Oh boy, evil. It sounds like somebody's channeling the Santana song Evil Ways here. Okay, fair enough. Mr. Blackheart would like to say that Titanic is still legendary. After 100 years, we are still talking about it. Well, I mean, will we be talking about WC 100 years from now? Well, I can tell you I won't be because I'll be dead, but I mean, maybe somebody else will be, and we'll have to find out if that's the case. Speaking of people who are confidants to champions of 500 days, the Painmaker, Mr. Joshua Allen himself, of course, he is the special confidant to the Tennessee Backyard Wrestling. world champion there, Mr. Ledger Shade, and he calls you the masked moron. But I'm sure you don't have much love for his champion either, Mr. Ledger Shade.
Well, if he thinks I'm a mass moron, at least I don't look like the guy from Spawn.
Okay,
So,
I would have said Joker, but all right, I'll give you that much.
no, Joker have more class than that guy right there.
Ooh, boy, everybody's into piling on these days. I'm on your side, Kraven, against Foundation. Now, is Drake Silverwolf the help that we're looking for? That psycho, unhinged help?
I don't know yet.
Okay. Had to ask because Drake Silverwolf is, he's pounding that pavement there. I mean, who knows, right? I mean, Drake Silverwolf there certainly, could be that person. There's always a plan B, WC's own plan B. Well, thank you, Captain Obvious. I will love to help you take out the IMF. I got your back, bro. WC for life. Omen Black, nothing like the champion. I have your back, Raven. Okay, Omen Black is not ready for Tyler Hart. Boy, I don't know how Mr. Black feels about these comments, but I'm sure he's laughing. As long as you have that title, Craven, you have a target on your back that is bigger than Wisconsin. Skulls has actually turned the corner on some comments because, Craven Rage, maybe that's what it is, right? You've been champion. I've known you a while now, right? I've known you over a year. You've been the champion in WCE for close to a year and a half at this point. I mean, what would you say then, to people that go on and talk about that maybe it's the championship that has really been the noose around your neck? I mean, maybe that's a fair point.
That's the thing. Holding the title is the hard part. Winning this title is the easy part. It's what you do with it makes you a champion. What I could do without of it, no matter what, I'm still going to go down in the history books as the longest all-out champion in history.
Well, there's only been one all-out champion, though, so far.
And that's me. And it's always going to be me.
Okay.
That's because the reason why I say that, because that is one thing about me. When I step in that ring, I go all out.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Omen, I give him his props. He took advantage when I was down. Mm-hmm. Just got done having a match with Remington Striker. But thing is, Omen, I let you do that.
You did.
Because it was easy. I knew you was coming. I was just waiting to see what can you bring. And that's all you brought. Two moves just to try to bring me down and walk out. But you know what, Omen? Those two moves inspired me because I got up.
You did, but it took you a little bit of time to get up, though.
So it doesn't matter if I take forever to get up. I'm still going to get up. I don't know about Omen, because if he steps in my ring again, I guarantee you, I ain't going to be no Sean Jovi to be a kiss ass to join the foundation.
Now, what did you feel about that, though? Sean Jovi, basically with his tails tucked between himself, joins the foundation, turns on his best friend, who you have no love for in the past, Darkfire. I could certainly understand that.
With all due respect, I respect Sean Jovi because that was the only man that could ever bring me down.
Yep, it was true.
So I respect Sean Jovi. But the Sean Jovi made the biggest mistake ever. He bit off more than he can chew. So, honestly, it's a blessing that he leaves WCE as the resident rock star for WCE and be their little puppet.
So he told Darkfire today basically that they have to go their separate ways, and he mentioned today on his blog, which you can go watch at RCW Rules on YouTube, that he's not with WC anymore. He's with IMF, and he's a part of the foundation. And he was wearing his foundation shirt while holding the Interstate Openweight Championship. So, I mean, Mr. Jovi clearly, I mean, he lost the match, and he's a part of IMF, and I mean, he's not WC. I mean, Darkfire, his best friend, was attacked yet again. And I mean, he's also our RCW Underground World Champion. And he's another one that's been left in the dust. And it just says over and over and over. I mean, the names I mentioned, Kraven Rage, it's almost like you're a man without an island. And that's why I want to get to some more comments here. And I want people to follow WC again on YouTube at WC Heat and on Facebook at WC Heat. And if you want to follow us, we actually have an internet radio station, which if you have a podcast, you can play it because I store all the shows and get to select them 24 hours a day live at sportnarium.com/player. We're also here on YouTube at Sportswire Radio, Instagram at the Sports Report 2021, and Twitter at Thomas Bryce 2017. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, the man behind Sportswire Radio. And we are going to be back here live tomorrow in a matinee, the first of two sets with the Nonstop Action Wrestling chairman, Mr. Joshua Snow, who's going to address all things related to Nonstop Action Wrestling. It's been a rather interesting time in NSAW. Mr. Snow is going to talk about that and some. That'll be 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 7:30 p.m. British Standard Time. Then in the first of two dominant breakout wrestling shows, they get ready for their biggest show in history coming up on September the 23rd. We will have Cyrus. Cyrus will be on here a little after 9 o'clock Eastern Time. And then Tuesday night, we're going to have on here Ace Christian, the Blaze, just days away from his shot at the DBW World title against his father, Mr. Judgment himself. So that's going to be a rather intriguing match, to say the least. Boy, I would not want to be a fly on the wall on the dinner table in that household. And Mr. Christian is going to talk about that here and some. So if you want to follow our friends at DBW, you can do that. Dominate Breakout Wrestling, and that's Dominating Backyard Wrestling on YouTube as well. So go out and join the movement, support them and more. But right now we are here with the reigning WCE All-Out Champion of the world, Mr. Kraven Rage. And I want to pull up a comment here, actually, from somebody who is a legend, a living legend, although I saw him on ROEW TV earlier today, and I was a little surprised at what happened to him. That is, of course, Jack Delta, the legendary destructive Jack Delta. Says, gotta say, 500-plus day reign is an insane accomplishment. Haven't watched too much WC, but that is a long-ass time. So I guess, in a way, Mr. Delta, the destructive Jack Delta, gives you a ringing endorsement. Is that the help you're talking about? I mean, Mr. Delta's retired, basically. He has an elbow injury, and CJ Black pretty much laid him out in ROEW. So I don't know if Mr. Delta is the person you're talking about, but if that's the person, Kraven Rage, boy, you really pulled a fast one on all of us.
Like I said, I have secrets.
You do.
People, but I don't expose my hand. It's like playing poker.
So you must be a good poker player then.
A lot of people play checkers. I play chess.
Interesting. All right, well, let me get to some more comments here. Of course, we say hello to Mr. Delta, and we certainly hope to have Mr. Delta back on Sportswire very soon to talk about some things that he's up to. He has a few more shows out there that you might see him in a ring somewhere, and especially in places like our very good friends in XCW. So stay tuned for an XCW announcement, XCW Shelbyville, later this week. But let's get to some more comments. I want to say hello to Legendary Backyard Wrestling and Mr. CJ the Alpha John, who I still have to do some Legendary Backyard Wrestling coverage. We're going to do that maybe in the month of October. So I want to say to CJ, we'll make that happen. I know it's been a short while, but he says, how about them Dallas Cowboys? Yeah, the Dallas Cowboys seem like they're like IMF right now. The foundation is running all roughshod over everybody, and so is the Dallas Cowboys today over the New York Giants. Tyler Ark is going on about the same things here. IMF is too scared to play with Tyler Ark. We're going to move away from that. Drake Silverwolf apparently has a Wolfpack Hour on YouTube. And he couldn't spell it correctly, but Wednesdays at 9, Fridays at 9. Safe to say, Mr. Rage, you won't be going on that show anytime soon. Skulls the Soul Hunter wants to remind you, of course, our very good friend Skulls. Skulls, just remember, Omen Black is not just another action figure in your toy box that you like to role play with. Boy, what has gotten into Skulls the last few weeks? He seems like it's a totally different Skulls, and he's really going after you tonight, Kraven Rage.
Yeah, because I told you, Skulls claimed to be a soul hunter. You can't collect the soul of a nightmare.
Mm. He tried. He tried and failed miserably, basically, is what you're saying.
Very horrible and painful.
Well, I'm going to plead the fifth on what some people may think about that because we are a family station on Sportswire and a lot of people want to say hello. James Marshall, speaking of people who struck out, says he wants Kraven. But what do you say to that?
James Marshall wants Kraven.
Yeah. Feel like we've seen that story already.
Well, last time I faced James Marshall, I destroyed him.
Right.
But if James Marshall wanted another shot at Kraven Rage, he might get buried this time.
Hmm.
Because I do have a coffin waiting to bury somebody.
Well, I'm going to bring up a comment here shortly because I'm going to do something basically. Soldier GP, of course, a man you've gotten to know very well, says hi to Anastasia Racina, who may or may not be listening because her Los Angeles Chargers lost a heartbreaker to the Miami Dolphins. But we'll move away from that comment and speak into the terms of wrestling. Kraven, you were lucky I pulled Omen away from beating your butt in, and I will let the guys on here very shortly. So that's the cue. I was kind of doing that as a surprise, but I'll basically announce it that Omen and Soldier will be coming on here in a few minutes. I have a dream match in mind. Kraven Rage versus my guest from a few weeks ago, Mr. Justin Parsley. Of course, Mr. Parsley is a man that is very, very well known in the world of XCW. He has done a lot in the world of wrestling as well. He's also a podcast host, and that's his dream match in mind. I don't know how familiar you are with Mr. Parsley. He's coming off a very successful victory over the owner of XCW Shelbyville, Mr. Fletch, aka Joshua Fletcher. I don't know how familiar you are with Mr. Parsley, but that would be an interesting match. I'll just say that.
I'm open to it.
Okay. Okay. Already know that Kraven will never be Foundation, and he'll beat the living crap out of them. All right. You know what? Before I bring on the Foundation, there is one man that I left out when it comes to WCE Kraven Rage, the Backyard Nightmare, the ruler of the yard, the be all end all. And that is the man who returned after nearly 1 year away from being in a WCE ring. That is the picture of perfection himself, the wanted man, as his new music sings. That is Kodak Kid, and Kodak Kid returned in style, making Nicholas Crenson submit, and he did a lot in his match, as we can see why he very well could be the savior of WCE, not Kraven Rage, the Backyard Nightmare, the ruler of the yard. So I have to ask you, I mean, what is your impressions of Kodak Kid returning, and how does he factor into all this? A man that, again, you nearly killed, you nearly murdered, and yet he's back. Maybe he's the Robert McCall. Maybe he's the guy that's going to save Appleton, Wisconsin, and restore order and normalcy from the Foundation. The fans seem like they want him as the hero, not the champion, the reigning defending one in Kraven Rage. So, Mr. Rage, I ask you, what is your impressions of Kodak Kid and his return?
That was somebody that's the past that has risen up that everybody been talking about. Kodak Kid. Kodak Kid. Yeah, he made his return. And yeah, he made tap out or submit, pass out, whatever you want to call it.
Doesn't
But
matter.
I am waiting for Kodak. But see, the thing is, I hope Kodak's ready to play because I still have the tricks. I still have all the cards. I hold all the cards. So Kodak better be ready because if he comes any close to me, yeah, we have that little restriction on us that Mark Packer put on us that we can not allowed to touch each other. If I touch him, I lose my title. Kodak touches, one of us get fired. Whatever Mark Packer comes up with, I'm not worried about it. But his welcome back might be his last because if he comes after me, I'm warning you, Kodak. Next time, I'm not gonna be easy on you.
If I were to say to you, Mr. Rage, that Kodak Kid, the picture of perfection, is going to address this and some real soon on Sportswire Radio, what's your reaction to that?
I'm looking forward to it.
You are? Yeah? You want to hear what he has to say?
Oh yeah,
Okay. Do you want to hear what the resident rock star, Sean Jovi, has to say in your chair next Sunday? Because Mr. Jovi is going to address a number of things, including his interstate openweight championship, which he is defending at the next show against Dash Andrews. I'm sure you might want to hear what Mr. Jovi has to say as well, no?
oh yeah. I'm definitely gonna want to hear what Mr. Jovi have to say
Yeah.
because
Well,
I definitely Jovi has something I want.
is that would that be being a member of the foundation?
I don't want to be a member of the foundation.
No,
No,
you
I
don't
don't
want
want to be a member of the foundation. I just want to make their ass a living hell, which I am going to do.
Well, I'm very, very curious, Mr. Rage, how you find a way to do this. And I'll come back to the foundation and bring the guys on shortly. But I have to bring up Mr. Parsley because he is also the co host of the Protect Life show. And he's actually here with us with a comment. And they don't call him the first real wrestler for nothing, REEL. And he wants to address you, by the way. They don't call me the first real wrestler for nothing. Let's get in there. If you're craving attention, views, or want to be famous, good evening, gentlemen. Now, there is a point that XCW viewership and their social media engagements went up because of Mr. Parsley's involvement in that company. I mean, how do you take what Mr. Parsley has to say here towards you?
Mr. Parsley.
Yeah, Parsley's. Yep. He's at Parsley's on all social media platforms. It's Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. You can look him up. He certainly has a legendary past in the scene of Indiana.
I would love to have a match with you. Get a hold of my peoples. Let's make it happen.
Do you think that he could travel to Wisconsin? Do you think that that's a possibility?
Hey, if the Fat Boys came up here, I think he can make it up here too.
Okay. Well, I'm sure those individuals will say a few things. But Mr. Marshall also wants to address you. I did give you my acid bath pile driver on Sportswire. Yes, enough incentive for you to want me. WC management signed the match. I'll bury Kraven once and for all and take his title. And he also wants to say, Omen, I'm still standing. He also addresses Kodak Kid, who better get in line. Skulls calls Kodak Kid a Mick Foley with a little bit more of a receding hairline. But no, we love Kodak Kid. Kodak Kid is awesome. He's the man. We love to see him back in the ring. Things just got interesting. Kraven, you better have life insurance because the foundation is your new nightmare. I don't know what has gotten into Skulls. What has gotten into Skulls, Kraven Rage? That's before I bring the foundation on. What has gotten into Skulls?
Honestly, I think he found a soul.
Okay.
After the beating that he suffered through me, he went back and found his own soul.
So he's the one who really tried to find his smile. Let me ask you, though, before I bring the foundation on, what will you be doing, actually, to celebrate 500 days as the WCE champion?
Honestly, standing on my throne like I always do.
Mm-hmm.
Keep grinding, keep pounding, and keep stacking anybody that stepped towards me to dethrone me.
Okay. All right. I respect that. I respect that. Well, I guess after all this talk, and I know you know these guys very well, you saw firsthand what they can bring to the table. They pretty much showed how Yards Collide was really IMF's Yards Collide, and they are here with us. They are the founding members of the foundation. It is, of course, well, one of the members show, Mr. Omen Black, the IMF champion of the world, and alongside him is Mr. Soldier GP. And gentlemen, how you doing tonight?
Yeah, fix the box, Tom. There you go.
Sorry about that. We're trying to.
First off, this dude wants to say he's gonna stand on his throne. You idiot! People sit on thrones. And was your throne a toilet in your house? It's kind of fitting because you're kind of the shit. You're kind of shitty in WCE. You're shitty in backyard wrestling. So it makes sense to be a toilet.
All you got.
Tom.
Yes, sir. How are you?
It wasn't Yards Collide. Remember, it was IMF Takeover.
I know you said that, but I was just trying to.
But we actually did what we said. We took.
Well, if you've been listening, to be fair, I have mentioned that if you think about WC, right, and the pillars of WC, right, James Marshall, Omen Black puts him through a table. Sean Jovi is no longer a part of WC. I mean, what he did to his best friend.
Sean Jovi's our brother.
I was getting to that, and Sean Jovi is part of IMF now. He basically told his brother, hit the bricks. Nicholas Crenson, nobody wants any part of Nicholas Crenson. And really the person that if anybody's counting on to save WCE, you could make the case it's not Kraven Rage, despite him being the champion. It's Kodak Kid. So what does that say right now?
No.
Big enough to take it.
You're wrong.
Stop us either.
You're wrong.
Why am I wrong?
Like I said, I'll be the reason why that little pipsqueak loses his title.
I know you said that before. I got that.
I tell you this. I'm a man of my word. Everything I say becomes the truth. Guarantee by the end of this year, you're going to lose that title because of me. And you see I got CJ's Black merch on. Good guy.
And CJ Black had a big day today. I mean, he basically did a number on Jack Delta. If anybody was watching ROEW TV, ROEW Backyard Wrestling on YouTube to watch what happened there. So, I mean, obviously, Mr. Black, who certainly has done a number on Mr. Delta, and you guys are showing their support, but that's fine. But, gentlemen, I still go back to my point that if you're a WCE fan, not a Foundation IMF fan for a second, hear me out, that if WC is going to find a way and even the score and make things interesting, which this really hasn't been that interesting so far, the person to kind of salvage things in WC, I still say again, it's not Kraven Rage, but Kodak Kid. Am I wrong?
You know, in that match, just Kodak seemed like he had the hand up in the situation.
He did. He got the upper hand.
Got the upper hand. Broken hand, but the upper hand.
Well, I wasn't going to say anything about that. I wasn't going to say anything because I may have heard a thing or two through the grapevine, but I was going to plead the fifth on that. But if you say so, but he did look impressive in his return to the ring. And The
But
fans
did he,
were
though?
behind him, fellas. The
He
fans.
did, though. He looked like a trucker just getting off his shift to go wrestle with chili stains all over his flannel. But did he really look like he's that impressive?
He did a backflip.
Man, that neck injury really put some LBs on him. I know I don't
He did
have
that,
room,
but he did that moonsault though. Did you see that moonsault?
You do a moonsault.
I could do a moonsault.
You can do a moonsault. I've seen it.
Are you planning to do it on Kraven Rage?
Kraven, you were
That's
just
if he can get his fast ass up to his top to top rope to jump.
You were just lucky I pulled him off when
What'd you say?
You heard me.
I can't hear you. You forgot to cut the hole in this mask. What'd you say?
Oh man, you still didn't get the job done.
Listen here, sport. I laid you out for a couple seconds. All I wanted. Like I said, I will be the reason why you lose that title.
Oh man,
Out of pure hate for you.
Out of pure hate for you, you just opened the door for me to come to kick your ass more.
Come on in.
Well, gentlemen, I actually want to ask you about something because there was something earlier tonight that the champion had said that basically he had something up his sleeve. It was an evil plan, he called it. It was diabolical, and he had mentioned things.
Did he tell you what the plan was, or did he just say, "I have an evil, diabolical"?
Well, I was wondering what you
plan.
gentlemen thought about that because
I don't give a damn what kind of plan he has, because he has to realize one thing. There's not just two of us in the foundation. There's more of us that you guys don't even know about. So if he got people, we got people too. I mean, think about it. We have Sean Jovi, who embraced the evilness, who embraced being a foundation member today.
I saw it. He told Darkfire basically it's over. He told him goodbye.
We have Kron. We have Forsaken. We have Levi McDaniels, Dirty Donnie, and there's other ones that you guys don't even know about. Kraven, you think you have something for us? No. We have something for you, and you're going to find out real soon what the Foundation's all about.
See, the Foundation, it's a group of guys, group of world champions. You may call us the main event mafia, but we beat them easily.
I think you guys will last a little longer than the main event mafia did. I think that their run in TNA wasn't that long, if I recall correctly.
We last longer than this guy's teeth did. I'll tell you that.
Well, I'm gonna avoid the
dental matter. If I got to go through each and every member of that foundation, I will.
You can't.
You can't.
You can't get past the ones that we have listed off.
You definitely can't get past the ones we haven't.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, let me ask.
Especially with your backup from Palacios little group. What is that? The BTCW?
Oh, Big Time Championship Wrestling. Oh yeah. By the way, hey Drake and Tyler, weren't we just dogging on you guys on your own show? Didn't I just scare you, Silverwolf? It's like, I'm not ready for the Foundation. I don't want to mess with the Foundation. I'm not ready for the Foundation.
Did I miss anything in watching? Did I miss anything in not watching the show? By the way,
we are his show. We take over every show that we're on, and we go on there. We take it over.
Okay, well, I mean, look, I don't know about Mr. Silverwolf's show very much.
Since I pay Tom, he's a Foundation guy. Tom, don't you deny that.
I'm going to plead the fifth on that because I want to ask you a question. I want to try to be objective here on Sportswire because we speak to a lot of people around the world. But I want to ask you guys, I asked this question to Mr. Rage, and I want to ask you guys this question. Is WCE running out, though? It seems to me, though, right now, WCE's wall is kind of closing in right now. All these different things. We're almost grasping at the straws. So I ask you guys this question because Mr. Rage gave an answer that I guess I'm not quite convinced what WCE is going to have a leg to stand on at this point, the way things are going. How much longer do you think WCE has to offer?
Until we're done. Until IMF and the Foundation's done with them, they'll be relevant. As soon as we're done, though, they're going to be like, who? Who's WCE?
They become those
guys who got beaten, victimized, and obliterated by the Foundation.
They become IMF 2.0.
Mr. Rage, what do you have to say about all this? I mean, you got to at least really have, if you say you have this plan that you say you have, I mean, I really hope for WCE's sake that this plan is really, really good and evil, as you say, because, I mean, we do this dance for a long time on Sportswire, and Soldier and Omen have come on here time and time and time again, regardless of what you think of IMF and the foundation, and they have the numbers, they have the gold, and they even have
the numbers, they have the gold, but everybody want to see the one match that everybody. It started with Omen and needs to finish with Omen. And Omen is definitely, we will dance.
Are you saying you're going to finally take the match?
I definitely want to have the match with you.
Now, someone clip that and send it to me.
Now, is that in a WCE ring or is that in an IMF ring?
It doesn't matter. It could be in an alley. It could be in Omen's. It could be in Omen's mama's house. It doesn't matter. Omen, you want to fight? You got it.
Can I send it?
But Kraven, what did you think though? What did you think when Omen was talking about that? The real Kraven, even in your home, in your house, was saying that the real Kraven was Chris Kraven. I mean, that had to get under your skin a little bit, no?
Chris who?
Tell us what you thought.
Chris who?
Come on, loose lips.
Chris who?
You know exactly who.
You can bring
somebody that's not relevant, right?
Is our buddy in the back?
Somebody that's not relevant.
I know he's back there.
I'm pretty sure that you got shut down when he first introduced himself to you. So
no, he's not relevant. He doesn't matter to me.
Okay,
doesn't he though?
No, he doesn't.
And that's why you talk shit about him. That's why you talk shit to him.
Hey, he talks shit to me. That's all everybody do is just talk.
This past weekend, you found out that we don't just talk. So don't sit there and try to be tough about it, talking about how everybody just talks.
Soldier,
we showed up to your backyard. We showed up to your backyard. We did exactly what we said we were going to fucking do. We took out James Marshall. We took out Sean Jovi. We took out you.
But
we did exactly what we said we were going to do. We talked the talk, but we walked the walk. And we walked it all over your sorry ass.
Well, that's what I kind of said in a different way, obviously, different wording. But Mr. Rage, I did point out to the fact that, I mean, you may have beat Mr. Stryker, but it was almost like the same type of match that we've seen throughout this run. And to me, it was more about what happened after the match. And I think that's really what's fresh in people's minds right now.
I'll say this. No, he struggled with Remington Stryker. Struggled. He wants to talk so much shit about him being old and almost retired, should be retired. You struggled.
He did curb stop him a couple times.
I was just toying with him.
And he kicked out.
I was just playing with him. That's what I do.
So when you were getting your ass beat, that was just you playing.
Just playing.
Sorry, I'm allergic to bullshit.
Just because one thing. I play checkers.
Well, you said it was chess.
Yeah, but you just said chess, you fucking idiot.
Play chess, not checkers.
That's what some people do, is play checkers.
You
I play checkers.
Chess,
I play chess. And I'm just playing Omen.
You don't even know what game you're playing. That's probably why you lose.
All right, let me ask you this question, Kraven Rage. Let me take a step back for a second. I'll get to comments, and we'll get toward the last 10 or 15 minutes of the show. What is the future of Kraven Rage? That's what I ask you, Kraven Rage. What is the future of Kraven Rage right now?
To live forever. And just be a nightmare.
Well, you have an ugly laugh, just like your ugly face.
What would that future entail to get to that point where you truly are the backyard nightmare, the ruler of the yard? What would be leading to that future, I ask you, sir?
It's already here.
It's not, though. Until you get past us, you're not the nightmare of anything. You're not the ruler of any yard. We came in and showed that. We came into Wisconsin, into your yard, and took it over. So aren't we the rulers of the yard?
We've been saying this since day one.
And we did exactly what we said we were going to do. We came in there, we whooped ass, and left you guys laying.
You know, and I find it funny how you say, you let me attack you. You walked into it without even knowing what's going on.
Oh, man. I knew you was there the whole time.
You shut your mouth. This is my show.
Oh,
Now, if you
last
really
time I started with
not listening, shut up.
No.
Now, if you really sit there and say that you let me attack you, it's only because you can't do a damn thing to me.
No. Oh, man. That's all you got. That's all you got?
That's all.
What you
All right, I'm
did?
waiting for a response.
Two moves. That's all you got to put me down?
It laid you out, didn't it?
You better come better with that.
Isn't that all he's got?
Yeah.
Is Skulls right? Kraven is on life support.
You know what? If Skulls keeps up with these comments, we might have to send him not a foundation shirt, but a fan of a foundation shirt.
I guess maybe you guys can trade for the Skulls action figure for an IMF shirt.
I'll throw that thing in the garbage still.
So you wouldn't want that trade? Not a fair trade for you guys?
Not a fair trade for us.
But like we said, we're not going to give him a foundation shirt, but we'll give him a fan of the foundation shirt.
Interesting. And I guess just for fun, I'm going to bring up Drake Silverwolf. I'm not afraid of these wimpy foundation. You guys are pretty big guys. Last I checked, I mean, I would have to say.
Hold on, Mr. Reverend.
Yes, sir.
Let's keep it real with this kid. Did I not send you a video of him saying, "Didn't I tell you I wasn't ready for the foundation? Didn't I tell you I don't want to get hurt?"
Yes, you did, but
and then when Adonis Fellatio sat there and said, "Well, you're gonna wrestle him," didn't he go like, "Oh my god"?
Yeah.
Isn't that how it went?
Oh, I'm not disputing that, but he's commenting on here, addressing you guys. I mean,
I say with Tyler Ark. You know what? Tyler Ark likes to run his mouth every time in the comments, but I'm pretty sure I got him on his own show saying, "Okay, I won't call you out no more because I'm intimidated by the IMF and Omen. I'm not ready for the IMF or Omen." Yeah, here you are again.
Who's the other one?
Oh, may I kindly ask who and what is watching these shows? The Tyler Ark and the Drake Silverwolf shows. I mean, who's watching it?
I'll tell you this: the only people that watch, they only watch for the foundation to show up and shut these guys down.
I see. Okay, I was just asking a question. Fair enough. Drake Silverwolf wants to come on. I'll say hard no. Mr. Kraven,
you know,
it could be funny.
keep it. Well, the other Kraven would like to make a few comments. He also says he's the real Kraven.
Bring in the coach on, to a good friend of ours. Bring the coach on.
Does Kraven Rage want to see him for a few minutes?
He can't handle it. Don't even pretend he's not here anymore.
Well, maybe he's got a plan. He's not revealing it. Maybe there's just something. Maybe it really is diabolical.
We do have to tell. We do.
He says his plan's his backup is unhinged, evil. So we're not stupid like the WC locker room. We could tell who you're talking about.
Sure.
Who's the only person that's unhinged in WC? The man I beat.
The person you put to the table.
Evil. The evil one might confuse me. Are you really talking about Mason Black? You're gonna bring back the Antichrist Mason Black?
Stop. Mason Black, come on, listen. All right, let's.
Why would I bring your friend on?
For a minute. If we're really gonna go down the road of Drake Silverwolf, Mason Black, Tyler Ark, I mean, at this point, we should move on from that.
Someone evil. Darkfire. You're gonna bring up Darkfire? The man who never dies.
Well,
I think we already have one up on you because we have the guy that beat you, the last person to beat you. He's on our. He's with us.
And Mr. Joe, listen, Mr. Jovi addressed that. And technically, you guys have a WCE championship. I mean, you guys have a valuable prize.
I just realized, yeah, we do. Does that bother you, Kraven?
It doesn't bother me at all.
The IMF has your other belt, the one that you've never won.
All right, I'm going to do this here because he's out in Arizona, and he messaged me before we were on the air, and he's commented here already, and I do want to bring him on because he hasn't been here in a while. We'll talk with a few minutes with him. He's actually, I hope he's smoking a cigarette, not a joint. That is the other Kraven, who some may say is the real Kraven, but he's Chris Kraven. And Coach, how you doing tonight? And I hope it's not 1,000 degrees in Arizona.
No, it's only about 105 right now.
Well, New York was just about that up until Thursday. So
it's only 9 a.m. here. 9 p.m. here.
Oh, lucky us. Well, how you doing tonight? And what do you make of this whole situation right now between Kraven Rage and the IMF's foundation? Because it seems like right now WCE is in shambles right now. That's what I have.
I think Kraven Rage needs to. I think you need to quit while you're ahead, son. Like you keep messing with these boys bigger than you, you're gonna get saddling.
So are you saying that once Kraven Rage surpasses the 500-day milestone, that he should maybe use that celebration as a retirement to retire as champion, maybe go out on top, go walk into the sunset, do what Tom Brady didn't do a couple years ago when he won the Super Bowl with the Buccaneers, or Michael Jordan with the Bulls? Is that what you're telling us here?
I'll say this. Everybody knows that this is a fact of life. This isn't, no one escapes this next fact, but I'm about to say no one escapes it. No one gets past it. Nothing lasts forever. Nothing lasts forever. That's a fact of life, of existence. Nothing lasts forever. He's on there going, you're like, what's the future of Kraven Rage? Oh, he says forever. No, nothing is forever.
Well, unless we're making a WCE network like similar to WWE Network, we're going to show regular Kraven Rage matches.
I guarantee you, the coach liked what I did to Kraven Rage at the end of his match.
Well, let's say this. So today I had a very interesting venture. I actually went down to the actual town of Tombstone.
Oh, wow. Okay.
On the real streets of Tombstone. And it got me a really good idea on how to quick draw, how this match with Mr. Rage next year is going to be a very quick draw execution.
Try.
So you can laugh, you can joke, you can put your head down, you can say I don't matter, and you can get through the months, through the winter, get through your little break, get into the spring, get into the summer. Your days are numbered. Your days of being credible, your days of your whatever reputation you've built up, TikTok, they're coming to an end. They are numbered. You will, young man, you will not make it through that match with me unscathed. You will not make it through that match with me still undefeated. You will lose. You need to know this. You will lose.
He'll lose before that. I'm gonna leave that one right now.
Yeah, I got money and he'll lose before that, but you have to understand that there's a whole element of wrestling. Tom, you bring me in here to give me this coaching advice. I try to help these younger guys out. Winning is great, but can you deal with a loss? Can you really accept defeat when you really are defeated? Can you handle that? I wonder if you can actually handle being defeated and living with that and then show your face.
But that's what I actually think what happened last week at Yards Collide. Even though the champion retained his title, I think he lost because of what happened in WCE. Jump in. Go ahead.
IMF takeover.
I got that, but the actual show on the page of their YouTube is Yards Collide. But my point is, regardless of what the name of the show was, regardless of what it was, I agree with the coach in the fact that Kraven Rage, okay, he beat Remington Stryker, he retained the title, but he lost something. He lost, to me, invincibility. For if you still believed in that last weekend, it's no longer there because Omen Black came in there and chanted, Chris Kraven's the real Kraven there. And then we saw the attack after the match. pretty much short work, yeoman's work, as they would say in politics. Yeoman's work, Omen Black made of Kraven Rage. He's the top guy, the backyard nightmare, the ruler of the yard. And to me, Kraven's holding that title, but I don't feel as it's like every other time when it's Bizzo Blaze, Skulls, Adonis Felios,
A bunch of
Mickey
nobody.
Mouse, Prince
Well, look at it
Charles.
like this. Look at it like this. Kraven Rage has been on here for God knows how long, pertaining that he's a god.
Over a year.
That he's a god. That he's a god to wrestling. That he's invincible. Well, I haven't watched the whole show, but I have seen clips. You just showed me that you can bleed. That the self-proclaimed God that you think you are can bleed, which means you can die. You can be defeated. You can lose. And with my experience and my abilities, I'm going to see to just that. You need to prepare yourself.
Looking
Your
forward.
time is coming to an end. The Kraven Rage era is almost over.
Kraven Rage era is never over. It will continue on and on.
It's gonna end
After I beat you. But I gotta go through Omen first. That's more
Yeah, you do. Good luck.
he's more relevant than you. So
Now, when do you think that we'll
Hey,
get
do
a
not
chance?
diss on the coach. He's
No.
just mad that you can't say anything back to him.
Now, Kraven,
he is.
If you
You are
don't
more
mind me-
relevant than him.
Now, Kraven, if you don't mind me asking this question, especially for the audience out there and people that'll watch this on a replay, wherever it might be, I mean, you say you want this match with Mr. Black, and he's also the IMF champion of the world. I'd also like to point out, when do you think, as fans, we would get to see this match of you and Omen Black?
It's all up to management.
So there's no date, no timetable for this?
It's when management decides that this god needs to be taken down and humbled. But until then, I'll take matters into my own hands. First thing to take away from you, Kraven, the thing you only care about the most is that streak. And I promise you, I'll be the reason why that streak ends. You can call me Brock Lesnar all you want. That streak's coming to an end.
That's a good point, Omen. No, hold on. That is a very good point. He likes to talk about relevancy. Nobody wants his belt, Tom, Omen, Soldier. Nobody wants his belt. They want to take his relevancy away. And I think that's one of the reasons why he keeps saying that about me. He knows that there are people out there that can take that away from him. You take the streak, you take his credibility, you take his reputation away from him, you beat him. You take his relevancy away from him. And all he's got left is that belt. You take that belt, let somebody else, let somebody in WCE take the leftovers. Because I can tell you right now, Omen, good luck getting through Omen. And then I wish you even better luck trying to get through me. And any other person you have in between. But once it's all said and done, and everybody shows that you can bleed, like I said, like Omen's got a good point there. Like your credibility is going to go from where you have put it to I even dare to say below and beneath what Squirt Gun's credibility is.
Well, I don't know if I'd go that far. I mean, I don't know if I'd go that far. But I have to ask you a question, though, Coach, because I opened with this question to Mr. Rage, and I want to ask you what you think specifically, because I'd be very curious. Because obviously, so do you think that Kraven Rage knows weakness, pain, death, and suffering? That's my question.
Does he know these things? Does he know these elements?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Does he know them?
He sure did experience some last weekend.
I think he's afraid of them. I think he's scared of them. I think that reality. I think with the whole incarnation of whether he knows them or not is irrelevant. It's a good point. It's a good question, but I don't think that's the important thing. You really got to ask. The important thing is how does he feel about them? Because when you come up with the IMF, you come up with Soldier, you come up with Omen, you come up with any of these guys that are around the country that have been popping on here or calling him out, even for me, like myself.
Yeah, you've been calling him out for about 4 months now, about four or
Yes,
5 months.
yes, and it finally took that long for him. Me getting on here after you went off the air and putting him on the spot in front of witnesses to get him to actually answer me. So the real question is, not only does he know these things, but can he confront these things? Does he acknowledge them enough?
I think because I kind of think, and again, tell me I'm wrong, because I'm doing this with people all over the world. I'm doing with guys that were in a ring, and last week a guy, Dean Allmark, defeats Daniel Bryan in matches. Jake Roberts wrestles all these guys and had a real reputable career, 5,000 matches in the ring. And I feel that as any good champion, any great pro, you would feel these things because you have to overcome these things in order to keep your run as champion. That's kind of why I asked you the question, because you are the veteran, you are the coach.
Right. So ask that question. So yes, that would be the question to ask. On top of that, it's like a 2-part thing. It's like you ask that question, but you also ask, not only does he know them, but does he acknowledge them? Does he respect them? I'll give you a quote off of hell. I'll go John Cena here.
Okay.
He said this once. He has said this not once. He said it actually many times to many opponents. You can talk your game. You can do this. You can talk. You can say how great you are. You can win as many matches as you want. But if you don't show up and deliver, it's all on you. And then all of those things you mentioned, Tom, all those things that he needs to know, they become a factor. They become his reality. So yes, he does need to, whether he knows them or not, he needs to know them. He needs to know what's on the other side of that coin when the fairy tale comes to an end. He needs to know them. If he doesn't, I can't say that whether I think he does or he doesn't. If he's been wrestling, he's done 500 wins in a row, or he's close to 500 wins in a row, chances are he hasn't known it. If he has never known it or not, I don't know that, but he doesn't know it for a while. He hasn't known it for a while, for 500, close to 500 matches. So when he finally realizes what that feels like again, to face those things, that part of reality, with what you mentioned, that he needs to know them, he's going to find out real quick and hurry. Can he deal with them? We're all going to find out. Can he deal with them?
All right, let me ask the IMF guys this question as we're coming up to the end of the show. I actually want to ask the foundation, since I asked conversely, what's the future for Mr. Rage? I ask you guys the same question. What is the future of the foundation?
Come on, Tom.
I got to ask.
Everyone wants to be in the foundation.
I still
the foundation's only going up. We're not like WC. We're not going down. We're going up.
Drake Silver will start joining the foundation, right?
He's
whoever this Drake Silverwolf is. Go away.
Bring him on. Bring him on.
No. There's a point. There's a line that's crossed where we certainly want to at least have some credibility on Sportswire. Still, I don't want to get somebody.
You know, that was a polite way for Tom to say, "Hey, Drake, fuck you. He ain't coming on."
Well, I don't want anybody to get railroaded here at this point. I'm trying to actually help Mr. Silverwolf here. So you answered my question then about the future of the foundation. You guys are growing. We're going to probably
told you, we have members that you guys don't even know about.
I believe that. Listen, I believe you guys have cells, I'm sure, all across the country. I have no doubt about that. You guys have certainly done a lot in a short amount of time. And I want people to follow the IMF, please, on Instagram at IMF_wrestling. Also, YouTube, check them out at IMF Wrestling 666, where they have matches galore. All types of stuff, shorts, you name it. Go check these guys out. They do a phenomenal job, regardless of what you think, inside the ring, outside the ring. And I want to say hello to people here. Mr. The Baltimore Kid, he is the host of, for now, the Off the Dome podcast. He is the Be More Talkative podcast. And he does some football here for us on Sportswire. And he's coming on next Tuesday night to talk about his podcast. He says, "Evening, gents. Good to see you all." I appreciate that, the Baltimore Kid. You can follow him on Instagram and YouTube as well. Looking forward to his new show coming up here later. So you answered my questions. I got all that. So then I'm going to ask Mr. Rage this question, then come back to the foundation and coaching, and we'll sign off for the evening. Mr. Rage, so what do you want to say then to the WC locker room at this point? We have a show coming up. I'm sure you're going to be a huge part of it. I mean, what do you want to say to the WC universe?
You okay?
Be afraid.
Yeah.
I'm coming.
That was your chance to, like, guys, we need to get together. IMF is taking over our yard. But yeah, you like.
Now, Mr. Rage, Drake Silverwolf wants to come on and defend you, but I'm going to actually say, for now, I would say Mr. Silverwolf will table that thought because we're coming up, the end of the show, and I still say that Mr. Silverwolf, I think you have a show, right? Wednesday nights on YouTube. I think that's your show, and obviously maybe Kraven wants to be a guest.
Bring Tyler on because Tyler, he's got your back, bro. He's not scared of IMF. IMF too scared to come out and play.
The champion is shaking his head about Drake Silverwolf. So I'm saying if the champion says no, I'm going to defer to the champion on this one. If the champion doesn't want Drake Silverwolf, then that's the champion's call. Obviously, he's the backyard nightmare, the ruler of the yard. We don't want to disparage the backyard nightmare here on Sportswire. So I'm going to plead the fifth on that. So, guys, Soldier and Omen, obviously you guys have accomplished a lot. You continue to do that. So I ask you the same question. And what do you want to say to anybody in the IMF out there? What you guys have coming up?
Be afraid. No, I'm just playing. To the IMF locker room, you're welcome.
Definitely, you're welcome.
November 4th, biggest show, I think, to date in the company's history, that live show you guys are going to have. I heard you guys, I think Jovi mentioned that on his vlog. I think it was not today's vlog or yesterday's vlog.
Jovi will be part of it.
Well, he's contractually obligated to you guys, so
also,
I would think he would.
WC guys will be part of it too.
Oh, okay. Maybe we'll see Skulls there, right?
They're going to be the ones, like, taking down the ring, putting the ring up,
Seat in the crowd.
Learning the tools of the trade, kind of like any good apprenticeship you're supposed to. And Tyler Ark does want to say, Omen Black, you want a match against Tyler Ark? I'll be waiting.
You're not ready. I'll literally kill you in a match.
Coach Chris Kraven, what do you want to say to anybody out there? I mean, obviously, you've said a number of things about Kraven Rage. Omen Black even mentioned your name at Yards Collide or IMF Takeover to what the guys say the title is. You want to say anything else out there in Arizona in the pits of heat and hot and humidity right now?
Arizona is pretty cool, man. You should check it out sometime.
I had a cousin that was in the refrigeration business. He was out there for a few years, and sadly, I never
stayed cool, huh? No. Anyway.
Yeah, he did, I think. He made money, at least a lot of money at the time.
I think what Omen's got to say, like, Omen's trying to warn him, Soldier's trying to... The funny thing is people keep trying to warn Rage, including his own people. This guy Silverwolf, who defends the WCE and him, he doesn't even acknowledge the fact that he's got somebody backing him. Like, you burn bridges all you want, you can do what you got to do, but at the end of the day, Rage, you're going to lose everything. It's going to happen. I think you bit off more than you can chew just dealing with Omen, let alone me.
Hey,
you've been wrestling. Hold on, you've been wrestling for over 20 years, and you still wrestle like you've been wrestling. You got about the experience of a 5-year worker with over 20 years of experience, apparently. But you literally have the ability of a 5-year worker.
Wow.
I did this for over 25 years. I actually have the experience of over a 25-year-old or 25-year worker. I have experience that matches the years I've been in this. You don't. And you are going to pick at Roman. You're going to pick at Soldier. You're going to pick at IMF. You're going to pick at your own organization.
You know me, Roman.
I'm surprised that you don't get mauled in parking lots by your own people.
Well, I'm going to plead the fifth on the last part.
By the way, the real Kraven.
Yes.
Your application for the foundation.
It made it to us.
So hopefully we'll definitely see you at Summer Bash, right?
I will be there.
I like the hat, by the way, tonight. Leave aside all the
Told you what you're
camaraderie.
talking about, man. I like his hat.
I like the hat.
I sold just digging the hat.
Digging the hat.
I think the hat's cool. I gotta say, the hat looks good on you.
Well, I got my hat in Colorado. I came down here to visit my father. My father got himself a nice hat today too.
Reminds me of Indiana Jones. Hopefully, it lasts better than the Dial of Destiny movie that lasted in the movie theater.
There's the crystal skull right there.
All right, moving on here. So let's get to closing thoughts here. Kraven Rage, I'm going to give you the floor first. Obviously, you are coming up on your...
He hasn't. Yeah, can he talk? He hasn't said a word since I got on.
I'm still going to give him closing thoughts. I mean, he's 500 days coming up as champion. He's got a show coming up, and I figured at the very least, give him that opportunity to say anything else he wants to plug, share, or say.
Are you having a celebration for the 500 days, and can we be invited?
He gets a cupcake and a candle.
We'll be on our best behavior.
You know damn well y'all will here.
We just want to rock it out with you and party.
I want to say this stuff. For you to have your final thoughts. You know, you were shitting on this guy, and yet he comes on and you say nothing. Talk about how irrelevant he is. Why don't you tell him how irrelevant he is then? Told us, no problem.
Yeah, tell me how relevant I am.
Relevant.
I think you need to go on a Biwa page and start watching videos. Or do some homework.
I did enough homework on you already, Chris.
It's real Kraven to you.
It's Chris to me.
I'm offended. Oh my God. I don't think I can sleep tonight.
Because he's Chris. He's not a Kraven.
Okay, so I've got just that. Closing thoughts are basically Kraven Rage will be at the next WC show. We'll have details more during the week. Sean Jovi is in Kraven Rage's chair next Sunday. Kodak Kid to follow sometime afterwards. I'm sure those individuals will have a lot to say, especially Mr. Jovi and Mr. Kid. I spoke with both individuals, and they cannot wait to come on to Sportswire. They say they have a lot to say and a lot to address. I'm sure Kraven Rage will be a huge topic, nevertheless.
Who?
Kodak Kid.
Maybe we shouldn't talk about him. Maybe we should make him feel like he's irrelevant.
Well,
hey, we did it with Gunshot. We can do it with him.
He's got a belt though. He is a 500 day.
I got a belt too. I bought it from Walmart. It holds my pants up.
I bought one at JCPenney last month, if that counts. I mean, probably not as fancy as the Walmart belt you got, but hey.
See, look at this. He is dogging on you, Kraven. You say nothing.
Right. I pick on you. I say this. I shoot on you, and you got no response. Take the mask off. I can't hear you. You're muffled.
I don't need to respond to you.
All right. Well, you know what? I got that. I got Kraven Rage is going to be silent. He'll do his talking in the ring.
Amateur night.
Omen and Soldier, I'm giving you the floor. Anything you want to plug, share, say, and be my guest.
Amateur night.
What do we want to plug?
And
come on,
we got the live show.
No, we're traveling still.
Still traveling.
Do we even want to say that Wisconsin's not? You haven't seen the last of the foundation. We promise you that for a fact. Hell, maybe in a month. But, you know, you have
your YouTube.
You have that big show, right? That big show in October. What's it called?
Fright Fest,
or Fright or Fight, something like that.
Something like that.
Fright or Fright.
You know,
the end of October.
We'll be there.
You'll be there? Oh, really? You'll be there.
Now,
interesting.
I'm gonna go as a fan. I'm not gonna wrestle him. I want to go and be a fan. I'm not gonna stop him.
We're gonna go support our boy, Sean Jovi. You know, fellow foundation member.
The live show.
You guys don't have to pay for tickets, though, right? You guys won't have to pay for a ticket, though, right? Because that's an expensive ticket.
Who's gonna stop us, Dirty Deadskin?
Jovi's gonna get us.
Zero Deus, maybe? Maybe Zero Deus would.
No, What's he gonna do? Spit in my face again? Jeez.
They say you're never supposed to spit in someone's face. By the way, they say that's like the worst thing to do.
And guess what? He was running the whole time.
I had to go get tested when I got back. I'm clean.
All right. Well, I hope that nothing serious came out of it. But I want
to say one thing, and I want you to look dead in my eyes, Kraven.
Wait, which one?
The wannabe.
The one on the top. Go ahead. I'm listening.
I promise you, that streak's gonna come to an end, Kraven. That belt, I don't even want it. Like Kraven and Thompson, I don't want it. You want it more than anyone that I know. But
he probably sleeps with it.
That's going to end this year. I promise.
We'll see about that if you can end the streak.
Well, we'll have to find out. I'll tell you that much.
I'm gonna make you want to match with me. You're not gonna wait for management.
I'm gonna laugh my ass off if right before he pins you, he goes, "I am inevitable," just like Thanos.
Well, we'll have to find out. I know one thing. We'll certainly be following things ahead when it comes to Wrestling Championship Entertainment and the IMF. Please support both these companies for all the things that they do. We'll be certainly covering them as we always do on Sportswire Radio each and every week here. So stay tuned for more details. Coach, I'm giving you the floor as our final thoughts here tonight. Anything you'd like to plug, share, or say? I know I'll be doing some DBW coverage ahead this week. I'll certainly put in a good word or two about you with Mr. Christian, especially on Tuesday. I'm sure Mr. Phillips will hear about that as well, because Mr. Phillips, that's his son, obviously. So we will certainly be addressing DBW as well this week. So Mr. Havoc has spoken to me as well. So hopefully we get Ego to come on, because I know that might be interesting to the foundation, that we will in the coming weeks continue to try to get Ego onto
That's right. I got about a little over a week, I think, right? Yeah, a little over a week before I show up. I show up at the DBW show. I will be showing up on the 23rd.
Yes, and the show itself will air the 14th of October. So
that's
Mr. Phillips has told me. So
anything you like? Ego won't come on here. Like you're telling me, Ego.
They won't. I can't get all three of them in one shot.
You're scared.
It's all right.
I can't get all three of them in one shot. It's nothing to do with me.
I'm tired of this team saying that they're the best team in the backyard wrestling. It's just not true. If they're talking about the foundation, it's more than true. But they're talking about the ego.
I can't ask whether they're good. Listen,
the B form of the NWO. They are run by Stevie. What is it? Stevie Ray.
Stevie Ray
ran the B one. That always just they're on Thunder and Saturday Night Live.
And then it came to the point that all of them fought to be the
leader. That the Globetrotters beat.
Yeah. Maybe
know,
so.
They know for a fact that we'd come on, and they're scared of that. That's why they haven't got back to you. That's why they can't find time to do it.
I can't tell you whether they're good or bad or indifferent until basically.
I guess we'll just have to see when Roland Havoc comes on.
Yes.
I'm sure we'll make it happen. Coach, anything you want to say?
We'll be right here waiting to come on.
Anything you want to say, Coach, before we sign off?
Yeah. I say shout out to Arizona and Tombstone. Like, y'all should check it out. You really guys should check out that fucking town, Tombstone, man. Kraven Raid, maybe. I say Kraven Raid should go down there and check it out. He'll know what a real confrontation is. What it used to be to do a face-off. Because right now, he's not even facing me. He's looking down at his fucking fingers.
Hey, Kraven, in the words of Doc Holliday, I'll be your Huckleberry.
No. I say this. I'm going to stand across from you in that ring of Summer Bash. And I'm simply just going to go, say when. Say when. You need to start taking me. Hold on, IMF guys, please. I got nothing real ill will to say against IMF. I hope to meet you guys soon in person. I hope I get a chance to come to one of your shows prior to Summer Bash and meet up with you guys, and maybe we can sit back, have a beer, and have some laughs. Okay, Tom, same with you. Get together, have a beer, have some laughs.
Sure.
Rage, you need to listen to this. This is no shoot. This is real seriousness with you. Mm-hmm. You keep saying that I'm not relevant, that you don't think I'm relevant. Son, you really need to start taking me seriously. I am somebody that has been doing this for 27 years on all different levels. Indie, backyard, underground, barn fence. I've done them all. I'm somebody that my experience in the ring speaks for itself. I don't have to prove myself. I don't have to be relevant to every person in the country. I don't. I really do not have to have a resume to where every wrestler in the backyard or underground scene knows my resume. I don't need to sit here and spout off my accomplishments like you. There are plenty of videos out there. Hold on. There are plenty of videos out there that show what I'm capable of. How easy I can go in the ring and how crazy I can go in the ring. My actions speak for themselves. You need to start taking this seriously instead of like a joke. You better bring every ounce of whatever ability you have to Summer Bash. You really need, hell, you may even need to go train a little harder. You are out of your league here. And I think you know that. Not only on the mic, not only on the promo, you are out of your league when it comes to my ability versus yours. You need to learn this. Take some advice. Listen for once. You did it one time when I told you how to do a promo back when I first started coming on here. And you showed up the next time with skulls and you actually delivered something. So here it is again. I'm giving you advice. This is real one-on-one advice from Chris Kraven to Kraven Rage, or Chris Warburton to Michael. I'm going to tell you right now. You need to. You need to take this seriously. You need to do your homework. You need to practice. You need to train, and you need to show up at Summer Bash. And you need to not underestimate this, because it will be your downfall. And everything you've talked on here, everything you've spoken about, everything you've preached, everything you've touted about will have all been for nothing, because every ounce of your credibility will go down the drain. You are going to lose, and you are going to lose hard, and you are going to lose quickly. You need to take this seriously. If you don't, everything I just said is going to be your reality in your future. Okay, laugh all you want. Tom, I've said what I've said.
All right, fair enough here. I've got the gist of it. We're going to all have to find out coming up with the next WC and IMF shows what the future lies for these companies. Adonis Felios would like to say thanks, Tom. Still number one in all of entertainment with the Reverend on the scene, Sportswire Radio. Till next time, good night, farewell, amen. So everybody, I would like to say one more thing before we sign off, actually. And it's very important if I don't, this is actually non-wrestling related, if I could just break for a minute for the people that are, I just want to give my thoughts and prayers actually to everybody that was impacted by the horrific events on September 11th, 2001. And it's especially important for me because where I'm from in New York City, and especially in Brooklyn and Staten Island, where a lot of my listeners and supporters are from, many people never came back. And there's a number of people that I knew that never came back and were in that horrific accident there in the World Trade Center. And I just want to give my thoughts and prayers to all the people and the families who lost their loved ones. And I just would like people just to think about that today. And when they're just going about, I know it's obviously a difficult day for a lot of us here in the New York area. So I just wanted to give my thoughts and prayers if I could for a second. And I want to thank everybody for that. I promised that I would do that to somebody earlier today. I would at least expend a few seconds on that. But I want to thank everybody here for tuning in. Again, I'll be back here later today, 7:30 p.m. British Standard Time, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time with the chairman of Nonstop Action Wrestling, Mr. Joshua Snow. And I'll also be on here later at about 9 o'clock Eastern Time with Cyrus from DBW. And Mr. Cyrus will be certainly saying a lot, I am sure, about the future there in DBW, their big show ahead. And if you are on Sportswire Radio, you can always listen to us anytime, 24 hours a day on sportnarium.com/player. But we were here with the likes of Coach Chris Kraven, the Foundations, Omen Black, the IMF champion of the world, and one half of the tag team champion, Soldier GP, and the reigning defending WC All-Out champion of the world, Mr. Kraven Rage. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice of all wrestling, the host of the Sports Report and the owner of Sportswire Radio. Fellas, Good night. I am sure we'll resume this conversation when Mr. Jovi comes on here next weekend, and I'll be very curious to see what his take on all of this is and Summit. Thank you, guys. Good night, and we'll talk with you soon.
I'll see you soon, Kraven.
I'll definitely see you soon.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was what we had here tonight. I want to thank everybody here again for tuning in, and please keep your thoughts and prayers to all the people impacted on that day of September 11th, 2001. But again, my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, and if you're on sportnarium.com/player, you're going to go back to your regularly scheduled programming. Good night, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. The number one global radio station that is Sportswire